Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Teddy, and today we're gonna be looking at 8 classic men's fragrances that you should all smell at least once. And that includes you, Courtney. Now, I don't think you're gonna like all of these, but I like classic fragrances. Like,
I know you do.
I've purchased many of them. I enjoy, it's like respecting your elders. That's how I look at it. So
That's fair, that's fair.
I wanna look at like 8 classic men's fragrances. I also have some unisex components as well. And I want to get your reaction. We can rank them at the end, say our favorite, least favorite, and just kind of get some just open opinions about looking at some of these classic fragrances. That's really what I want to go for.
Sometimes classics, they stand the test of time.
That's right, and we'll see that in this video if that's actually going to be the case. So we'll go through one by one, and I want to get your take on them. So we'll spray them, so this place is going to be smelling like something else very soon, but we'll get it going. Now to start us off, this is one that I don't believe you're going to be a fan of, but maybe I'll be wrong. Just knowing that your preferences, we'll see.
Oh, it's legitimately called Vetiver.
This is Guerlain Vetiver. This was like the fragrance that kind of like made me realize like, oh, I like Vetiver.
Yeah.
You know, like this is just what I'm into. Vetiver, bergamot, so you kind of just get that, you know, that woodsy that comes with Vetiver, but also getting some support with some citrus in the background. It does dry down to kind of that oak moss, just kind of more woody dry down, but it kind of has more, yeah, it's citrus off the top. This came out in 2000. Guerlain, in terms of a house and just I mean, in terms of crafting their fragrances, among the best that you can get for the money. And I think this is a good example of that. Typically you can find these for, I don't know what the price is now, but usually on certain sites you can find it for around 40, 50 bucks for this. At least I think I recall last time.
Yeah, you know, if you like Vetiver, this would be a great one for you. If you don't, maybe not. It doesn't smell bad. It's just, no, I just don't really care for it. It smells like an older, mature.
It's a mature scent.
Very mature.
Guerlain typically is like that. They're more sophisticated.
Yeah.
I mean, they are one of the most established and well-respected houses for fragrances in the world. So, I mean, you know my opinion on this one.
I know you like it.
You know.
But you also love Vetiver. So yeah, again, it just comes down to, you know, if you like Vetiver, if you don't.
Yep.
But I feel like a lot of classic men's fragrances have Vetiver.
Yes, Vetiver.
So I'm excited to see if I like any of them.
Also, a thing we're going to see here is oak moss. Not as prominent as some of these other ones that we're going to be seeing, but just to kind of give an indication of what's to come. All right, Courtney, got another classic for you. 1973's Paco Rabanne Pour Homme. This is your fougere aromatic fragrance. It's a classic. Now, some people are going to say that this has just been nuked because of some of the IFRA regulations when it comes to oak moss, primarily, because that is something you're gonna get immediately.
Okay.
Now let's smell this here. So you get lavender, oak moss. It's very woodsy. This feels like a hike in the woods to me in a lot of ways, but I'll say this, that is not gonna be an accurate representation of how this one dries down. I actually think that the dry down on this is still pretty solid.
It does smell like you're like walking through the woods. Maybe it's raining. You're getting more of the smells.
Mm-hmm.
Grass.
If we give this about 20 minutes, you put this on skin, I promise you that it's better. I've worn this before. I've worn this.
Okay, and I don't remember saying I hated it, so.
I think I recall you saying that you weren't that big of a fan of it. But you know what? That's besides the point. It's a classic, Paco Rabanne.
All right, what's next?
Okay, now, this is one of my favorites, to be honest. I think this is a classic fragrance. Introduced in 1934, Pour Homme de Caron by Caron. So this here, now I hear rumors about, you know, what people like, and if you've ever smelled Tom Ford's Lavender Extreme, very similar. Here you are, Courtney.
Okay, let's see. Moment of truth.
Simple note breakdown. Based on the bottle, you have amber, musk, vanilla, but really this is just a lavender vanilla. And one thing I will say about this,
That's exactly what it smells like.
it's exactly what it smells like. It's very classic, but also this is timeless. To me, some of those other ones, because of reformulations being new regulations happening,
They smell a bit aged, but this one it's timeless.
and they've had to just kind of neuter the fragrance. Like this still has a body. This doesn't smell like it's been absolutely butchered the same way, which I think is great. It's a simple composition, and it has this kind of sleepiness to it too.
I was gonna say,
Relaxed.
as I'm smelling it, I'm like feeling relaxed. I feel like this would be a really good scent to put on before bedtime. It almost reminds me of a pillow spray. If you guys have ever used those, they're just meant to like relax you and calm you, just kind of make you feel ready for bedtime. That's kind of how I feel about this one, but I like it.
I love this fragrance.
I like it a lot. It's classic.
Simple.
Yep.
Lavender. You know, usually when you see you think of these fougere, like barbershop style fragrances. This one's kind of like just more of a sleepy, relaxing. I mean, honestly, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I feel chill right now.
I feel chill as well. So, one of my favorites.
I like that one.
Ready for our next one, Courtney?
Yep.
Here we have Davidoff Cool Water. I know you've smelled this before.
Yes.
A couple things on this.
This one's like iconic.
This came out in 1988.
All right.
Some people say it smells like Green Irish Tweed by Creed, which you can get a little bit of.
Okay.
A couple other things. I mean, this was my grandpa's favorite fragrance. My grandpa would wear this all the time. Also,
I think my grandpa wore this too.
yeah,
This is a grandpa fragrance.
but also,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Don't get it twisted. This, I think, has some youthfulness to it. I don't think
It's very refreshing.
this does not smell dated like some of the
No.
other ones that we're gonna smell. Like this still has some modern components to how it's composed that I think it works. This is more of like a marine. They have seawater. Really kind of get those like ocean kind of waves. It's really refreshing. You get lavender, mint. It's kind of that marine fresh.
It's also a little bit zesty. Like you kind of like perk up a little bit.
Yes, it's kind of it's kind
refreshing.
of it's like an aftershave, kind of slap in
Yeah,
the
like
face,
a guy
right?
that just shaved and kind of, like in the commercials when they splash their faces with water, like this is what I get.
I get that too. So there also, I will say this. In my teenage years,
Oh boy.
I had an air freshener in my car. It was a car air freshener. And things have gone full circle. It's called Black Ice. And I remember when I smelled this again. I remember I bought this and I was like, wait,
Oh my gosh.
that's the Black Ice.
But now that you mention that, it smells just like it.
I will not.
I like it.
You know what? I will not have anybody talk down on this fragrance. I enjoy Davidoff Cool Water.
I like it too, which is kind of shocking.
That is kind of shocking. But again, has some...
Again, it's just like zesty and like
Yeah, it's a slap in the face.
refreshing.
Which honestly, I kind of needed after that lavender beatdown that I just took. So, anyway. But Davidoff Cool Water.
Perfect. Next.
You ready for your next one? Here we go. Okay, so... Polo Green. First unveiled in 1978. This was the fragrance that I believe my father would wear the most during the 1980s. And I know people of that age absolutely just talk about how this was just an enormous fragrance in the United States. Also, people will say, from a modern context, that it smells nothing like the original because oak moss was such a strong component to what this fragrance was offering that new regulations prevent this one from really...
This smells like a Christmas tree.
You're getting crazy amounts of pine needles off the top. I get that immediately. Tobacco, leather, oak moss, patchouli, cedar.
Again, not really for me.
Not
but
for you. See, to me, this is like, smells like a country club. Smells like an old school country club.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this does smell a little bit dated compared to, like, say, Cool Water just from a moment ago. Totally different vibe.
Yeah.
This does have some freshness to it, but it's kind of more that woodsy freshness that you're getting.
And when I think about someone that would be wearing that, I do picture more of like an older gentleman. Like it is more mature. Don't you agree?
Oh, 100% more mature.
Like I could not picture a 20-something wearing that.
I
Or I could never even picture you wearing that, to be honest.
I'd like to I'd like to try to find some older vintage bottles of this to really give it a shot. I'm sure I've smelled it in the past, but it's been so long since I've been able to really dissect like the original scent and formulation of this.
It's a shame that that happens.
Just is what it is. I mean, oak moss is really one of the main notes that they really just knock down on. But all right, Courtney, for our next one, I believe this is the second last one.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Eau Sauvage by Dior.
You know what? I like the bottle.
I love the bottle. And there's also some flankers. There's the EDP version, which most people are going to, from a modern context, choose to wear over this. This is from 1966 when this was first unveiled. Tell me your thoughts on this one, Courtney. It's kind of safe. You get lemon, bergamot, citrus blast off the top, but then you get that kind of basil oak moss. Again, this one has been reformulated from what a lot of people say, and also you kind of get to have that in the overall performance. It's faint. That's why people
Even like right off the bat, like it's very safe. You're like you're right.
But this is what I would say, mid 20th century. What would a classic gentleman's fragrance smell like? This is pretty close.
But it also doesn't smell very like dated to me either. Like I could see how someone could still rock this.
Somehow this feels less dated than Polo.
I think it's because it's a little bit more refreshing. The citrus, I think, kind of gives it that vibe. But yeah, it's fine. I don't hate it.
Yeah, you get that lemon bergamot off the top.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have that little vetiver.
I smell the basil too.
Basil vetiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this. It has like a woodier backbone off the citrus, and it does kind of feel more aged. But nice. Never going to offend anybody. It's classic, classy.
Classic gentleman. Yep.
That's really what you're going at here. All right, Courtney. So this is a fragrance house that I know you're familiar with. Myself, we're a fan of it.
I do love Acqua di Parma.
Acqua di Parma. This is the OG. This is the well, at least the fragrance that I would say most people are familiar with when looking at this house. Classic Italian fragrance. Came out in 1916. Oh, sorry, I'll let you do the honor. Sorry. I just got a little excited. Ladies first. Sicilian citrus. I get mostly a lemon. I mean, that's kind of what you're really getting there. Lavender, rosemary.
I like it. It's a refreshing one. Zesty, again, the lemon.
You do have vetiver in there, Courtney. Musky. It's musky vetiver, dry down.
I like this one though.
I mean,
nice Italian man.
I really enjoy this. I really enjoy this.
That's nice.
I've had the intense version.
I like all the fragrances we have from Acqua di
Colonia
Parma.
Club. We have many of the Blue Mediterranean line. I mean, I'm pretty well versed in this house.
Yeah. They all smell
Very nice.
great. Yeah, I like the bottle too.
And this was apparently a fragrance that, and I think a lot of people mention this, but like worn by a lot of like the Hollywood socialites and just movie stars.
Yeah, I like that one. I think it's a great option. Let me smell it again.
Classic Italian, freshy.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice, classy, well-dressed gentleman.
This fragrance is over 100 years old.
That's crazy.
And when you have a fragrance that can stand the test of time, which I mean, this...
It doesn't smell dated to me.
This DNA, it still works.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been some changes over the years, no question about it, but the fact that they can still output something that smells even appropriate in 2022.
I think that speaks for itself.
I agree. So, Acqua di Parma, Colonia.
Good one. All right, last one.
Last one. One of my favorite houses, Floris, number 89. So, the connection here, German Street, that's their address, 89 German Street.
Is this like their OG fragrance? Like,
Well, this is, I mean, this came out in 1951. This is kind of their classic. When I think of a mid-20th century British gentleman, I think this is what you go for. Now, this does smell perhaps dated. It's mature, certainly, but...
So basically, I'm going to hate it.
I don't know if you're going to like it. It might not be up your alley. So you're getting lavender, rose, bergamot, orange, geranium. Yeah, not a big fan of that one.
No, but I do love Floris, but yeah, no, I don't care for that.
Not for you?
It smells a bit dated too. But I mean, if you want something that's, very mature, gentleman, classic, I mean...
This is like, it's got a regal smell.
It's kind of what you picture. Like, no just random Joe on the street's going to be wearing this. This is something like you really want to wear to stand out, to, make an impression.
I think someone who's into like sartorial, their bespoke suits, just you wear this in the nice winter, spray this on your scarf. Like I could see this, like you're walking down the streets of London. Like that's what I imagine with this.
You got a pair of Alden boots on, like.
No, and that you'd have Crockett and Jones because you have to be appropriate.
All right. But you're looking really fancy.
Some trickers on, I don't know, some great British.
You're wearing some fancy British outfit. All right, yeah, I could see how that could work for some people, but not my favorite. All right, guys, so now that we've smelled all of these, it is time to pick our favorite and least favorite. So, Teddy, do you want to get started with your least favorite?
Yes. Okay. So, this one was tough. I mean, I do actually like a lot of these, and I think they can be appropriate for the right type of individual. A lot of these I would personally wear, but the one that stood out to me just didn't wow me. And it's a shame because I know how classic this is for so many people, but Polo Green. In some ways, it's timeless, but also I think this is just a casualty of reformulations. And out of all of these, just really didn't do as much for me. It's crazy because this is by no way the oldest fragrance in terms of the ones on the table, but it almost feels the most dated in some ways. maybe not the most dated, but it's towards the spectrum of that side where I would say it is.
It's not aging as well as maybe some of the other ones have.
Yeah, so that's my least favorite. I mean, it's still, it has that pine freshness off the top, but it's, for me, this didn't really do it. That's my choice. And I've owned that for a couple of years. I'd like to go back and smell like a vintage bottle to really give an honest assessment. I'd like to see like people in the comments, because I know I'm probably gonna annoy some people by saying this is my least favorite out of all of these, but just my take on it.
Things change,
That's right.
I think my least favorite is Paco Rabanne. I think it was the rosemary and the oak moss and the lavender mixed together. I don't know, it was just very odd to me. There's a couple other ones I wasn't really a huge fan of this one either.
Guerlain Vetiver, yeah.
So I would say it's kind of a tie between the two, but this one just smells very like mature and dated to me. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. On a more positive note, what's your favorite?
So there are about 4 here that stand out for me. It's like, and they're actually the ones in the middle. Like those all are really tight for me. But I think the top 2, this is tough. This is actually really tough for me.
I wonder if we'll have the same.
This is really tough. I'm sorry guys, I'm struggling. But I think I'm gonna go
Wow.
Homme de Caron. This is just so nice. I mean, if you like lavender, vanilla, this is so just, it's simply composed, but so just well done.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. And for how old that fragrance is, I think it's fantastic. Same can be said for this one. My top 3, I'll just, these 2, and then I like Davidoff Cool Water too, to be honest. I just can't hate it, to be honest. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, and it has a lot of nostalgia.
I really liked that one too. And like I said, I think perfect for bedtime. I mean, even after smelling it in this video, I got sleepy. And I'm not just saying that. Like,
thank God we had the Davidoff Cool Water to slap us in the face right
perk
afterwards.
us right back up. Okay, now my favorite, I would say those are my top 3 as well, but I think my favorite is this one, Acqua di Parma. I think it's just classic, but it's aged so well. I mean, the fact that this came out in 1916, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
I love this brand, and I think they do a really good job, but this is just classic.
Also, women, strangely, would wear that fragrance quite a bit. Like Audrey Hepburn, that was apparently her favorite fragrance.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the internet tells me at least, so,
Who knows if it's true, but yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I'll wear it one day and see if I like it on my skin too, but I would like you to wear this. I think this would smell great on you.
Performance on that one, that we didn't really talk a lot about performance, but that Acqua di Parma, usually not the greatest on performance. Same could be said
I've
here
noticed that
Eau
with
Sauvage.
our, the blue ones.
Oh, the blue Mediterranean line is not very good, but when they are potent.
Right out of the box, they're amazing.
Very good. Yeah. Very, very good. So, all right, guys. Well, that is our take on some classic fragrances. Courtney, I appreciate you for bearing with me and enjoying this world of old school fragrances with me.
I'm actually glad I liked a few of them because I went into this video thinking I'm going to hate every single fragrance and this video is going to be depressing, but
I was expecting a train wreck. And yeah, I think you were fair, honest, you were open, which is good. And I think that's how you have to be looking at these. These are not going to be the, the crazy compliment getting date night fragrances. That's not what these are. But if you don't have an appreciation for just fine fragrances, where things started, I think these are ones you do need to check out. And I think they're timeless in many ways. So
nice, distinguished gentlemen.
That's right. And honestly, I think some of these are very unisex. I think that's when you get into that timeless nature, I think that is part of the appeal. Yep. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon as well so you can stay up to date with future content. We have a lot of great things planned on this channel. Yep. Different videos like this, individual before you buy type of videos, blind smelling fragrance reviews, a lot of things planned. So definitely subscribe and stay tuned for the future.
And also let us know what else you want to see from us down in the comments. Would love to get a little conversation going down there and, just kind of see what you want to see from us. So as always, thank you all so much for watching and we will see you all next time.